here we are again with you, watching, patiently waiting for us to unveil yet another exciting topic or another exciting issue or another trendy um, problems or solutions or expectations about our dear country, Nigeria, as we bring you yet this premium chat show. This is Close Flow coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. We have invited yet again into the studio another distinguished Nigerian who is going to be expressing his own opinions, his impressions, his dreams, and of course his expectations about how Nigeria, this same country, can become one of the greatest democratic nations on the face of the earth. Well, we are doing this because we are just stepping away from June 12, and we know that for us, that was a national democratic day. So what would that actually mean in terms of what all of us celebrated, or what all of us marked, or what all of us observed, or what all of us just allowed to go by? We are going to be talking to our distinguished guest who is going to be sharing with us his own perspectives on some of these issues that we are looking at. Before I unveil his personality, let me just tell you that he's an ardent lover of jazz music. He's also a traditional title holder here in Lagos. He's a brilliant arbitrator. He's also a promoter of sustainable businesses. But maybe most importantly, he's also a senior advocate of Nigeria. You're going to meet him shortly, but let's take some messages, and then we come back and meet our distinguished conversationalist for today.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Intel 4G. Intel. Live more. Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Intel 4G. Intel. Live more.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Close Flow coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. This is our premium chat show, and we make sure that every week we present to you, different opinions, helping us to shape or to reshape or to redesign, to reconfigure what our nation should be achieving. Our guest today is an alumnus of the University of Lagos, one of the premium universities in Nigeria. He was called to the bar almost over 3 decades ago. Exactly about 36 years ago, he was called to the bar. He started his legal experience working with, the late Adesanya, that's Adesanya and Adesanya legal firm. Then he became the company secretary and legal advisor to Okada Group of Companies. I don't know how many of you remember that organization. Thereafter, he now set up his own chamber, and he has been running that chamber since then. Yes, he is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association by implication, and also a member of the International Bar Association. And like I said to you in my introduction, he's an ardent lover of jazz music, a highly cultured mind, and because of his cultural eminence, he holds the title of traditional, that is Bamofin of Ikosi, Kushofe local government here in Lagos. So as a distinguished senior advocate of Nigeria and a fellow Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, it's our pleasure to welcome Chief Wale Taiwo to Close Flow. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you very much, Fola. I appreciate your invitation to this program.
Thank you very much. Now, let's quickly look at the issue. So, Nigeria is the newest capital of poverty in the world. So who can we hold responsible for that? Are we looking at the political class? Are we looking at the elite? Or are we looking at the citizens?
Well, I would say that it's a mixed bag of blame, not necessarily holding a particular person, group, or politician responsible. You recall our newest experience in democracy started in 1999.
Yes.
And all of us, we invested hope that we're going to have development because we believe democracy is synonymous with development. We have had up to 4 presidents to date.
Yes.
And if you look at our economy, when we started in 1999, it was really good. You know, up to sometimes sometimes in 2016. And the unfortunate thing was that there was over-dependence on oil
Only.
without actually looking into the other natural resources. Also, particularly in terms of neglect of agriculture. We got carried away
With the oil money.
with the oil money to the extent that we neglected all other areas that could hand us foreign exchange and probably improve our per capita income and the gross domestic
Income.
products
Yes.
products in the country. So it's a mixed bag because we are to blame the government. We are going to blame the government, the governed, and every one of us, we are responsible.
I like that. That is being frank. That is being frank and truthful.
Even the elite. You will look at our electoral system. It is flawed. It is very easy for any politician to be able to cajole
The citizens.
the citizens to be able to vote him by doling some little money, pittance, without knowing that you are ruining your own future and the future of the country. The politicians themselves, they came into the mindset of Nigerian politicians. It's always not very, very altruistic. He came not purposely to come for development. Many politicians, with all due respect, came into government purposes of coming to line their pockets.
How did we get to that mindset? How did we allow that to grow?
Well, I say it is a matter of a blame. It's a mixed bag of blame to us and to the people governing us. We have never held people governing us accountable. Apart from the fact that we too, because of the level of poverty, we have not been able to go outside our thinking in terms of ethnicity. We have not gone outside the thinking of our religion. Me and you, Fola, I will tell you the truth, you know, that kind of a thing. You know me. And as a matter of fact, if any of my friends here that I got to political appointments or I got elected today, they will put banners, they will put headlines, congratulations. The next thing everybody is talking about is what is there for me, without actually looking at
What you are going to deliver.
for the country in general. And that is where all this problem. Recently, I think one of the political advisors of the vice president said something that was very, very touching.
Jermaine.
That virtually everybody coming to see the vice president upon being sworn in was coming for personal issues.
Gains.
He was not coming to say, oh, let me
This
come
is
and assist you. This is
to
the
achieve-
way we're going to achieve development for the country. This is the way, you know, but it's looking at, oh, this is our own time. So it's a mixed bag of blame, not only to the government, but to we, also the citizens.
Please speak to our audience at home so that they would know that what you're saying also affects them. Yes. They
Yes.
have a responsibility.
So that is the truth.
Okay.
That is just the truth. I'm not holding brief for the government, but I
Yes.
know that the government too have not done very well.
Well.
But by and large, the problem mostly started from we
Our citizens.
as citizens.
Great. Now, Nigeria is reputed to be one of the most religious countries in the world.
Yes.
Now, why are religious tenets which should promote collective humanity not being employed to strengthen and deepen our democratic experiences?
Well, the mistake, I'm one of those people who believe so much in the efficacy of prayer.
Yes.
But the problem we have in this country that we have taken religion too far. What we have been endowed by God himself to do, we can do it by ourselves. We will be praying that God will do it for us.
Please say that again.
The point I'm making,
what God has given to us to do.
God has given us intellect. It has given us capacity to be able to do things rightly. Like we have in the US. Okay, I give you an example. Somebody left for Canada some time ago, and he called me to tell me that, do you know that my prayer point has reduced to about 30%? Because what I used to pray for in Nigeria, they are just things that are there for me
Available,
there.
yes.
So what we are supposed to have as citizens, by our own ingenuity, we start praying to God to come and do it for us. And everyone helps
Those
those
who
who
help
help themselves. So you will see that we have so much churches, so much mosque, so much everywhere. But rather than try as much as possible to increase our productivity, we want to rely on God to come and do it for us. No, God will not come and till the ground for you. God will not come and farm for you. God will not come and do the tractor. He has given you the intellect. He has given you the know-how. It is for you to put all these things and now ask God to increase what you have done. But what we have done is now virtually to leave everything. Before you hear that, you say, oh, leave everything to God. And just like one of the ministers said...
Barrister,
yes.
does that also, in a way, imply that even choosing political leaders seem to have, we seem to have abandoned or to have, abdicated our roles as citizens in choosing who should rightly be there to let's leave it to God?
That again is a mixed bag. We have not done what we are supposed to do very well. Again, the manipulatory tendencies of the politicians too. If you look at our electoral system, it's so flawed to the extent that you might not be able to have a fair and free election. It might be a mirage to think that you have elected somebody if the totality of you have decided you are electing Mr. A, and at the end of the day, the electoral system is manipulated, and at the end of the day, it's Mr. B that gets there. It cannot be the fault of the citizen. But the corollary of it is that the citizen too also has to be vigilant. One of the price and principle of democracy is vigilance. And that's the reason why I liked what happened on the Democracy Day.
Yes.
With all due respect, what happened on Democracy Day, despite all the threats and everything, that people should not come out, no protest, no whatever, some people still came out to say that I have a right to
express,
protest. I have a right as enshrined in the Constitution, Chapter 4 of the Constitution, to come and hear my feelings, no matter how unpalatable to the government in power. They were able to brace it up. I want to encourage our citizens too, because fear itself is defeatist.
Fear is defeatist.
Fear is defeatist. If you are going to war and you believe you are going to lose, already you have lost. So definitely some people have to be basing of this thing. Some people have to take the lead. Those that we are looking at in America, in all these advanced countries of the world, they fought for democracy. They fought together. You don't get anything by sitting back. You don't get anything.
Praying.
You have to fight for it. You have to grab it. And you have to protect it.
Okay, now, political ideals, just the way you have cited some foreign nations now, are expected to be competitively different.
Yes.
But here in our own environment, in our own climate here, once you begin to express different opinions or different political thinking or directions, even as basic as voting is concerned, it becomes violent. Why?
Yes. You see, we have peculiar situation in this country. Don't forget, though we are not the only one that is in that category, this nation is multi-ethnic.
Yes.
This nation also, religious-wise, we are, at par.
Yes.
So, this is one of those things that is causing this problem. And again, I go back to the issue of political education. Poverty. If we are well educated, if people know their rights from their lefts, and I want to believe that successive governments in this country have decided to promote illiteracy so as to be able to continue to perpetuate themselves in office. Because if you know that what you are doing in terms of getting bribe for purposes of voting for that, taking 1,000 naira to go and do demonstration, taking this, you are indirectly
punishing yourself.
You will not do it. And just like I said before, part of education is to be able to think outside the box. Think about the country over and above your own interest. And that is what we have not been having here. All what we want to hear is the man from the south. Oh, if it's an Hausa, it's an Igbo, it's from south. Oh, is it Muslim? Is it Buddhist? Is it Christian? That should not be the indices of appointing or electing our leaders. We should have to look at who is capable of delivering these goods.
Promises.
Who is capable? And you just go out, and if only for the future of this country.
Okay, let's quickly reenact. June 12th, mass voting for MK Abiola which has now metamorphosed into our democratic day. So is that what you are looking at here?
That is the point I'm making. It was the first time in the history of this country where we all put all our prejudices apart. It was a watershed.
Yes.
All our prejudices. Since that time, even before time, you had never had a Muslim ticket.
Yes. And that was a Muslim ticket.
And it was a Muslim ticket. And this man was able to breeze it. Everybody came together as one. Junta was a watershed. In fact, it could have been the foundation of our democratic development in this country. But lo and behold, what happened? We had an annulment.
Away, yes.
We had an annulment, and from that time,
till now,
we have not gotten out of the doldrum.
Now, okay, we are in the doldrum. I hope my viewers are watching, and you are getting ready with your questions and your comments. You want to share your opinions with Barrister Wale Taiwo, and be a part of this lively conversation, especially it's a pointed conversation of what the future of Nigeria holds. Now, you have made a statement, and I would like to quickly recoin it. So, would you agree, therefore, that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to effect true and sustainable democratic change?
Oh, yes. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. That should be the first priority of government. In the UK, up to secondary school level, is free. And that was, I think, what Chief Obafemi was trying to do in Western regions, which he did successfully, and which he wanted to replicate. But unfortunately, he could not, you know, for one of the reasons that we're talking about. So the pivotal starting point to the attainment of true democratic is mass education. Let people be educated. Let people be educated to the extent that you can't come in to seek my vote. You don't come and insult me by asking me to exchange
my life ambition for 1,000 naira.
Exactly, for a mess of porridge. So that is it. If people are educated, they will be able to tell and hold our officers, our elected officials accountable for their actions too.
Now, you agree with a social scientist who actually said that Nigeria's educational directions in the recent years are what are crippling democratic knowledge amongst the Nigerians. You seem to agree with that opinion.
Maybe you have to come again. What did
it says that the educational direction that we have taken in recent times would appear to be crippling democratic knowledge amongst the masses.
Oh, definitely. You can remember when me and you were in primary school, we started with civics.
And history and all that.
And history and all that. Where down today? It's like we are having wrong education. You have to imbibe from the time a child starts growing up the spirit of nationalism, and that's what civics was all about.
Yes, yes.
What
nation building, yes.
Nation building, love of your country.
Yes.
Not love of your ethnic group, not love of your religion. They will teach you citizenship.
Yes.
The act of being a full membership of a country. What are the rights of citizens?
Yes.
What are the obligations of citizens? Where are all those done now?
You still remember all that way back in primary school?
Oh, yes. Where do we have all that now? Where is history? People who don't learn for history, they are bound to also fall into repeat. Yes. So these are all these things. What we are supposed to do, we have left undone. Just like the Bible says, we have done those things
that we shouldn't have done.
We shouldn't have done, and we have done what we ought. We have not done what we ought to have done, and there is no help in us.
Okay, now I'm going to paraphrase your statement now.
Yes.
The opinion you have shared, the knowledge you have shared. It is claimed that both ethnic and religious intolerances have killed the spirit of nationalism in Nigeria.
Oh yes, I've said so. I've said so before. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is clinging to his nationalism. He's clinging to his tribe. Everybody is clinging to the religion. I mean, what are we having now? We are having a situation where, even look at the situation we are in the country now, relating to the threat to our unity.
Yes.
Well, nationalities are saying we want to go our separate ways. Nobody is looking at unity of Nigeria again. You know, people they are seeking self-determination.
Yes.
Because of certain perceived imbalances.
But my barrister, are those imbalances perceived or are they real?
Well, it depends on the divide you belong. You know, to some it's real. You know, I want to believe that, well, I want to believe it's real, you know, to certain extent. And the unfortunate thing is that we have not had a head-on solution, you know. I believe seriously that what should have been done in the circumstances of this nature is dialogue, you know. If there are
Continuous sustainable dialogue.
sustainable dialogue, you know, it's like there's no way you build a child and you want to say the child should not cry. You beat a child, the child will cry. And it behoves of you to call the child and ask,
then
what is
begin
your
to,
problem?
yes,
Sit down and let us look at it. But it's a situation whereby you are not dialoguing, you know, force will not do anything. And I repeat, force
will not achieve
anything. And that's the reason why I'm so happy about some of the statements during the Democracy Day and the interview of our president,
Yes.
you know, trying to see how
to persuade.
to persuade and see how we can actually come together to discuss. I even saw in the news that delegation have been sent to certain part of the country who are really feeling seriously aggrieved to come to table and table their grievances. I think that ought to have been done a very long time ago. But
Okay.
it's never too late.
Yes, now that you have started it. Okay, now it is already agreed globally that Nigerians are very resilient,
Yes.
that we have a natural ingenuity, like you mentioned, that the good Lord has given us the capacity to be able to think and sometimes think outside of the box.
Yes.
But now, how do we convert all this, in your own opinion, in your experience, in your legal mind? How do we convert all this into a formidable, unifying democratic formula for Nigeria?
It's like changing our mindset. I've just talked about education. I've talked about vigilance.
That really is the
We need to change
the
our
pivot
mindset.
of it. Yes.
Change our mindset. Look at this country as our own. See ourselves first as Nigerian.
And not as Yoruba or Hausa or Fulani.
Or Fulani. That's the first thing. There has to be that spirit of nationalism. You will recall during the period, November 17, the plane crash in
Yes.
you know, they said some of the Americans in the plane, they held up when they saw that the plane was going to crash into the White House.
Yeah.
You know, no, you will not disgrace America. We are ready to die.
Yes.
For America. People should be able to think of dying for this country. But how can you die for a country
That is not taking care of
that
you.
is not taking care of you? That's the problem. Where do you die for the country where you have issues that have not been addressed?
Resolved.
Where do you die for a country that is not taking care of your aspiration? So that is the problem. We really need to work at both the government and the governed to be able to see that we have no other country except Nigeria. And it's really very much unfortunate that we think that if Nigeria goes into war, goes into this, we have all these people coming to assist us. Everybody has his own problem. All these countries have their own problem. There is limit
To what they can offer.
to what they can offer. There is limit. You know the population of Nigeria? Over 200 million people.
Yes. We
If
are
there's a
approaching
problem
20,
here,
20.
where do you want to go?
Yeah, but some people are already advocating that we can take second citizenship in another country if Nigeria is not workable.
That's another problem they're having. I have children abroad. I have been abroad. And I know that in exceptional cases, that you will not get discrimination when you get to a certain level in that country. In any of these countries. Because your color will just still be there. You might be carrying red passport. You might be carrying all this kind of a thing. But you are still being looked at
As second-class citizen.
That is it. So I feel so more comfortable in Nigeria than in anywhere in the world.
It's part of your experience, international experiences.
I am telling you, when I travel out of the country, everybody knows me. Within 2 weeks, I'm fed up. I want to come back here. And people are wondering,
What's wrong with this?
what's wrong with this man? I'm an incurable optimist about the fact that this country is going to be great.
Okay, all right. The greatness of Nigeria is already embedded in your mind, but how do you react to the culture of selective political representation rather than openly elective exercises? People are saying that all our political leaders are selected, that actually the citizens don't enjoy any opinion or any equal right to vote or to elect.
When it comes to that, it now comes to the issue of democracy.
Yes.
That is very much undemocratic.
So how do we overcome that?
I have talked about the flaw in our electoral system.
That has to be corrected.
It has to be corrected. The popular wish of the people must be made to prevail at all time. There is no way some generality of people will decide to elect Mr. A, and at the end of the day, it's Mr. B that is there.
Imposed on them.
You know, so there has to be vigilance. And apart from that, the mechanism of setting up our umpires,
Yes.
like the INEC,
Yes.
you know, has to be strengthened, has to be reviewed. Because in most cases, he will pay the piper, dictates the tune. We have to look at that area.
So you are looking at the fact that the supervisory role over INEC should be removed from.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Should be removed from the presidency. In fact, by the presidential system we are operating, it makes the president too powerful. Our president is too powerful. In fact, by comparison, we say he's the most powerful president in the world. To appoint this, to appoint that, to appoint this, to appoint that. At the end of the day,
without any check or balance.
No, there are some checks and balances but at the same time, you know what happens when there is supposed to be the Senate interview and whatever.
Yes.
Some of them will just go there and say, go and take it. Oh, he was a senator.
Go and
take a bow. Nobody is looking at the history of the person. Nobody is investigating the person. So the mechanism of appointing these gatekeepers, you know, has to be reviewed. And apart from that, our electoral system, our judiciary, too, has to be strengthened. Institutions have to be strengthened.
Well, that's your forte, really, as a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Yes.
So, should Nigerian Bar Association therefore be the lead, be the prime motivation, you know, or motivator to say to ourselves, these are the corrections that must be effected?
As a matter of fact, they are doing that, just like civil society. MBA has been doing a lot. So many other associations just ended the strike.
Yes.
On the independence of judiciary, physical independence of judiciary, that is already even in the constitution.
But not yet approved.
Is it no? It's in the constitution.
But it's not been practiced.
Section 81.3 is very clear regarding physical independence of the judiciary. Judgment has been given by court.
And yet
that has not been obeyed. But thankfully, I think there was executive order 10 signed recently by the president. Yes. You know, giving teeth to all these provisions. Still, you still see Juson on strike because certain interests always prefer to have things in status quo because of what they benefit from it. And that comes also the issue of the fact that we are always thinking about our interest over and above the interest of the nation.
All right. Well, you have heard quite a mouthful and a lungful from him. We are going to take a short break now so that we can let him take a breather. Then we'll come back. We expect you to join this conversation, you know, with your comments, with your questions, or maybe with your disagreements with some of the opinions he expressed here. And the numbers to call, let me run them by you again. I know many of you should have taken these numbers down somewhere if you have been a regular, you know, viewer of this lead show. But let me just run the numbers by you again. If you are making a call, a voice call, the numbers to call are 080-5975-3044. 080-5975-3044. But if you are going to send a text message, these are the numbers to call. Just send your message text to that number, 080-6350-8434. 080-6350-8434. So if you are having challenges making the call, maybe you are calling and it's dropping, just leave it. Go to the SMS and send your SMS and let Barrister, Senior Advocate Wale Taiwo now deal with the issues you are raising. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. You know, we do a full workup for them.
You will remember
a lot of our government should actually open their eyes, especially southwest of the state.
We're going to be looking deeper than we ever looked in before to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
It manifests as physical symptoms.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. It's Close Flow. It's coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. It's all about you. It's all about what and the roles and the parts you're going to play in making sure that Nigeria becomes one of the greatest nations on the face of the earth. And we have had, from our distinguished guest, a brilliant mind, a legal luminary. He has shared with us his own experiences, his own thoughts. So we expect you to join us in this conversation. The numbers again, let me quickly run them by you. To make your call, voice call 080-5975-3044, or if you're going to drop SMS message, if you're having a challenge, you're making a call and it's not coming through, then just send your text message to 080-6350-8434. We are waiting for you because he has said it. If you don't take action, if you don't take responsibility, then all the opportunities to make the change in the country will go away. I will remain with you. Okay, now, my distinguished guest, in over 2 decades of democratic governance in Nigeria, over 2 decades, over 20 years,
Yes.
Can you say that our country has enjoyed significant positive change?
Oh, yes. When you want to look at that, you want to situate it against the background of where you are coming from. We're looking at the experience we have had from 1999 till date.
Yes.
We want to now look at it vis-a-vis the experience we have had during the military era.
Yes.
I will tell you that it's a mixed bag of success and failure. In terms of the fact that you even have democracy itself.
That's a positive one.
It's a positive one because the worst democratic government
is better than
the most benevolent dictatorship. Then, having said that, we will have a lot of, even though there are challenges, because democracy is a process.
It's evolving.
It's evolving. But the only thing is that we, as Nigerians, we're so impatient, understandably so, because of where we are coming from. When you want to look at it, there have been remarkable progress made, even though some failures. In terms of our economy, when we started, up till about 2016, we had it good.
We were buoyant.
We were buoyant, we had it good. But the unfortunate thing is that over-reliance on oil, which by 2016, when the price of crude oil crashed, then we found ourselves napping, making all this unemployment, everything that we now have, to now be in the front burner. When you look at other things, in terms of press freedom, in terms of independence of judiciary, in terms of what have you, press freedom, we're looking at also corruption indices. I think we are a little better off, even though we have not. We have left Egypt.
We have not yet arrived in Israel.
We are on our way to the Canaan land. So we have done that. But an area which I feel we have seriously flawed as a nation, as a government during this democracy, is in the area of security of lives and property.
Yes, we're going to come to that. Hello?
Security of lives and property.
Hello? Yes, we have a call out. Yes, hello? Hello? Speak to us. Speak to us. Hello, yes? You're welcome. Yes, go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, boy. We lost him. Please send your text message. I've said to you that we may have network challenges. So don't waste the opportunity. Send your text message, okay, so that Barrister Wale Taiwo can respond. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So you want to compare with what we had during the military to now, you will see that our security architecture has actually failed us. You will see it started like a play.
Yes.
In 2009, Boko Haram from the northeast. Now it's generated into banditry, armed robbery, herdsmen, kidnapping for ransoms. People now sleep with one eye open. So is that area we have not fared better than the military. A lot needs to be done in that respect. to assure the people of the safety of their lives and property.
Okay, well, some other opinions have said that the reason for the insecurity was, well, it will probably be traced to the question of the impoverished status of Nigerians. That's number one. And the fact that, again, maybe the level of corruption in governance, that seems to have led to what we're now, what we have cited here now as the broad-based national insecurity.
Oh, yes. I agree with them, but what is the cause? When did this thing start? I told you all this problem that they are rearing their head now started about 2009, during the period of our democratic experience. Yes. There are bound to be thieves. There are bound to be thieves in society. But what are the machinery that have been put in place? Do we have strong institutions? Our judiciary, are they be well equipped to be able to tackle the problem? Our law enforcement agency, are they happy?
Are they well paid?
Are they well paid? These are all the issues. It is not a question of whether it's because of poverty, it's because of poverty is not an excuse to steal. And if you steal, the deterrent of
there's a reprimand.
But you see, in this country, it's so easy for people to steal billions of naira and walk the street. Definitely, other people will want to try. That if Mr. A and B
can do it,
and they are walking the streets free, what stops me?
So you're also agreeing with the opinion or the expressions that the level of impunity itself may have actually escalated what we're talking about?
Oh yes. The impunity in the system, the unfairness in the system, the inequity in the system. Governor is supposed to be for the general good of the people. You must continue to look for the good of the larger majority. To have a sustainable democratic government.
Okay, now, so how do you see us democratize strategic national goals and objectives? How do we see us approach that? Because those are the things you're looking at here now.
Yes.
So we have national goals, we have national objectives, we are saying to ourselves, level of corruption or the corruption indication in Nigeria, indices in Nigeria, must drop from whatever level it is now, and it must, in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years. How do we see us democratize that process?
You will see in very good organization, they will have missions.
Mission statements.
They will have vision.
Goals, yes.
You understand me?
Yes, in corporate organizations.
Exactly. What is our vision? What is our goal?
Shouldn't we be asking politicians that same question?
That is what I'm saying. The politicians have to set it up and walk the talk and lead by example.
So it's not enough for them to just come and be dashing you 1,000
No, they must lead by example. They must make sure that there is serious reduction in the level of poverty.
And they give us a plan how to achieve it.
Exactly. You see, if somebody is assured of his 3 square meal, if he's assured of the fact that he can have meaningful life by way of very decent accommodation, basic necessity of life, I'm going to. Nobody cares whatever you are driving in England. In England, nobody cares. You put a limousine on the road. It's even not helping you because government is going to tax you. Where you are going to park, they will be counting an hour. There are certain places you can't go. But
can you say that again? When you drive luxurious cars, you get taxed.
Nobody envies you there. Because whatever you have, he has in his own little way.
Yes.
And he's content. But here, that kind of a thing, the more you have the money, the less tax you pay. So, government must fashion up a way by which those oi polloi, the lower strata of the economy, they are in the majority. And it's quite unfortunate that we are joking with them. It's going to get to a level in this country which has not even gotten to that level where you cannot drive your Porsche car
on the street.
On the street again. It's already happening to members of the National Assembly. Some of them are holed up in Abuja. They can't go to their constituency again for fear of kidnapping because they have left undone what they ought to have done.
Now, somebody actually came on this show and said to us, or warned Nigerians, or expressed the warning or the alert that we may be sitting on the gunpowder if we are not careful with the way the masses are being dealt with at the moment. Is that the same position you are taking here?
It's already happening. Is it already happening? There are certain places I go now. I go with when I don't go out at night. I run back home before 7, and before I want to go out, I want to look at where I'm going and the kind of car we have to take. There was a time I was going to the airport. You know that kind of. I was there. I was going to the airport in one of my big cars, and 2 guys came around and they were knocking my door. They want money. I was out
of desperation.
Out of desperation. They were just very ferocious. They were not even just begging. They were now demanding it. My wife said, "You better give them." You know, I had to wind down and give them money.
Because they could have broken that.
They could have broken it, and that is the point you are making. We are already there. But we can still save the situation
if we reverse all this.
If consciously take steps to reverse all the wrong steps we have taken in the past.
Okay, in your expert opinion as a legal luminary, what should June 12 establish in Nigeria's democratic journey? What should June 12?
Like I told you before, it's the symbol of our democratic experience.
It should be the symbol. It should be
the symbol of our democratic experience. The unity that has brought into being. The fact that we should have to not to look at the personality, but what that personality is capable of doing for us. We should look beyond ethnicity. We should look beyond religion. These are what the symbol of that June 12 should be all about.
Okay, as an alumnus of one of the Nigeria's premier universities, do you think we have reached a stage in our national life that pedagogy in political science should be adaptive and not generic?
Perhaps I am not a student of political science.
Yes.
What is
pedagogy? Now, that is saying you have a particular system of teaching political science. That political science must be taught or must be experienced in a particular way. Should it be generic or should it be adaptive?
Well, I said it before. You will see that one of the adjuncts of political science and political education, political experiment is what ought to have started in primary school, where from the beginning
you
learn about citizenship. You learn about your obligation to your country.
Brilliant.
You learn about so many things.
From primary school.
What you hold. Not even the university alone. Primary, secondary school. You know, when you learn that, you learn history. You get to secondary school, history is taught. Government is taught. Then when you get to the university, it is not even so for students of political science alone.
That knowledge?
No, should not be for university. There are certain, I don't know what happens now. About 30-something years ago, about 40 years ago, when I was in university. When I was in the university.
Year one?
Yeah. There were some courses that we were supposed to go and do in social sciences.
Yes.
Even as a law student.
Yes.
There were courses we were supposed to go and take.
Yes.
You know, these courses are supposed to be for what we are talking about. It should not just be for political science students alone.
So now that means you're saying to us now that we really need to rethink and refocus on how our education is being implemented.
Very well.
Okay, now, some people have already, well, you seem to have addressed that easily. Now, the next revolution, global revolution, industrial revolution, is already being defined, okay, by artificial intelligence, by machine learning, robotics, multi-planetary citizenship. Some people are saying they want to go and live in Mars.
Yes.
Do you think we can ever get to develop, Nigerians can get to take benefit of all this?
We may be far from there, but the fact that I now have the government addressing, you see what is happening now. We are so blessed with talented young men. Look at the relative short period information technology got into this country.
Yes, yes.
See what our boys and girls have been doing.
Yes.
I think it's just a matter of further encouragement. We'll go places. There were so many things I could not operate in my house that my 10-year-old boy
will do.
We do. These are what were in India, in
China,
in
Japan.
So these are all the things that they encourage. Nobody forces a child in Japan, you know, who is good in a particular subject to abandon it and go and read law. whatever you show yourself, there was a boy I saw recently in the tele, I can't remember, that kind of a thing, at the age of about 6, was solving mathematical problems.
Yes.
And you see that country will encourage that child
To grow.
As a mathematician. So it's never too late. We have started. Good enough, we have now among the ministry, a Ministry of Digital Economy.
Yes.
I hope we'll be able to put all this in proper use to be able to advance the course of technology. Nigerians are brilliant. They are resilient. Go all over the world. Go
Yes,
to America.
yes, it's been repeated that when Nigerians leave Nigeria, they seem to always
Yes.
get to the top wherever they go to.
Yes,
but
we just need to give them enabling environment.
Locally.
Within. Make equipment available. Look at our doctors running away. Go to the hospital. They are mere consulting clinic. Apologies to late Abasha.
Yes.
So we really need to get our hearts together.
Okay, now let me quickly just invite our viewers. Please join the conversation. It's important that you can send your text messages if the voice, because I can see that our network is failing and your voice messages are not registering here. So send your text messages so that my producer can therefore share that message with our guests and let him now respond to some of the issues that you are raising. Now, my distinguished senior advocate, do you think, can you hazard a timeline on when we can see Nigeria reverse some of these minuses that we have highlighted? Can you see a time? Can you see?
It is the will
of the people.
The will of the people and the will of the people and the will of the government. You see, things like this you cannot set, if we have good leadership,
then it's doable within
certain period. You cannot set a time lag because the problems are multivarious. But it is not too late. We ought to have started yesterday.
So you're saying going forward now, we have marked June 12.
Yes.
So the next step be for us to see the realization of what? Yes.
A rebirth, indeed. For us to be conscious of the fact that we have no other country than this, and we must develop this country. This country is the pride of Africa and the pride of the whole world. We must not allow this country to fail. We must do everything to make sure that we don't allow this country to fail. And it's a question between me and you.
Now, okay, coming back to me and you, or you and me,
yes,
or you and I, or you, my barrister, already you have highlighted the fact that some people are thinking of leaving the country, as it were. That is, they don't want to be part of this Nigeria anymore.
Yes.
So how do we, that mindset, what do we need to do to address that mindset and bring everybody back to the same table?
These people we're talking about, they have grievances. They have grievances which they think are not being addressed, or being addressed is not well addressed. There is no point. You see, when you have children and one of them is aggrieved, like I said before, you don't spank a child and you say that child should not cry. It behoves on you to call that child, see the child, that what is your problem? You look at it together, you dialogue, you talk about it.
You've said that before.
Yes, you talk about it. These are the problems. Okay, what do you think are the solutions? Okay, these are the solutions. And we should be willing to give and take.
Okay, we should be willing to give and take as members of this community.
Exactly. Nobody wins everything 100%. It evolves. You see, the problem that has happened over the years, it didn't happen yesterday. It has been over the years. And when you want to solve the problem, you solve it, you look at the way by which you can do it in such a way that you don't think of... We are very, very impatient people, Nigerians. You don't look at a decision whereby you must get everything
overturned overnight.
We dialogue about it, we talk about it. There have been issues regarding the flaws in the constitution.
Yes.
That kind of, which is being addressed. Okay, let's put together genuinely. If it comes with good intentions, that kind of a thing, look at this. The areas that we're talking about that has problem, let's look at it together. So people have been talking about the very, very strong center. which I believe also that is antithesis to democratic principle of federalism. Let us look at it. Tinker with the exclusive list, tinker with the residual list,
Yes.
the concurrent list,
Yes.
and let us see how we can develop, just like we had in 1963
Yes.
in the regions.
So you can have devolution.
Exactly. With competition, there is development. There's so lot of advantages in competition. When we compete among ourselves, you have a lot of development. And I think that is what they are talking about. I think the other side should also look at it, that it's for the benefit of everybody. If this country develop more than what it is now, it becomes a giant of Africa in the real sense of the word, not giant by words of mouth.
Okay. You are a legal-minded person, but more than that, you're also a strong promoter of sustainable business relationships, commercial relationships. Now, the new media, should we see it as a threat, or should we actually see it as a developmental tool that that makes it inclusive of everybody?
Every media in any system is complementary the work of the government. So you cannot.
Every media is actually
complementary, because how do you government pass on the information to the people,
or achievements or goals,
or vice versa? So government should look at media as partners in progress. In fact, they should even look at opposition too.
Yes, as partners
in progress. Because what opposition and the media, the message they are sending to you is you don't see yourself. It's people around you that will see you and tell you.
So the media is like a mirror.
It's like a mirror. So they are not to be seen as enemy. Civil society are not to be seen as enemy. Trade organizations, they are not to be seen as enemy of government. They are complementary to the work of the government. And that is the way they should see it.
That's a brilliant perspective.
That is the way they should see it.
Now, okay, one other issue that I would like us to quickly look at is this. Because, again, everything is hanging on who takes responsibility. So, who do you see, or how do we constitute, like it would be like a moderator in that conversation that we're talking about? So, who are we going to now? Should Nigerian Bar Association take that lead? Or who should we now look at naturally as having to occupy the place of an arbitrator or a moderator? Or how do you see it?
Well, there are respected individuals in this country who have been shouting, who had also fought to make this country one. There are so many of them abound that we have. We still have, to the glory of God, General Gowon is still there.
Yes.
We have Obasanjo there.
Yes.
Whatever anybody might say. We have Anyaoku is still very much there. We are blessed. These are people that could be constituted to midwife
whatever future we want to.
Exactly. Assist the government in moving this country forward. Because as it is, we are all speaking discordant tune. And we are very close to the precipice if care is not taken.
Now, but my barrister, the question again has been that we always seem to recycle, recycle either established personalities or established names and all that. Whereas we now have a new generation that seem to be energetic, goal-driven, well managed. So why won't we employ the new generation to take these roles? Why are we falling back?
That's the reason why I'm appealing to the conscience of our people in government. Those who have held this country at the jugular for a very long time. They have enormous resources.
Already.
In terms of money.
Yes.
These young people that you are talking about, who can make a lot of difference, there's no money. And one of political scientists sometimes ago said the influence of money in politics makes the share of ordinary man insignificant.
Let's say that to our viewers. That the influence of money in politics makes the share
of an ordinary man insignificant. Because it costs a lot of money to do election in this country.
Oh, yes.
And that's the reason why
Recently,
you have godfathers all
yes,
around the place.
councillorship, you have to pay almost 350 to 500,000 to get a form.
Yeah, exactly. So these are all the areas that has to be addressed. And that's the reason why I'm appealing to the conscience of all these our money bags, politicians. You know, the enough is enough in terms of how long they have held on to the jugular
of the country.
Nobody will take a penny out of this world. Once you are gone, you are gone. It's what you have done that people will remember. It's what you have done people will remember. There is no point. What people looking for? Look, you have billions in your account. What are you doing with it?
Whereas you have millions suffering on the street.
The corollary of it is that you are even killing your generation. That is psychology they don't know. Children who know that my father has billions of dollars in several houses, the tendency for them not to want to work. And at the end of the day,
lazy.
Yes, and at the end of the day, the next thing they indulge in drugs. Go and look at. In fact, I'm sorry to say, go and look at the generation of some of these people who have stolen the wealth of this country, and go and trace the background of their children. It's a curse to eat the sweat of the poor with yours. And it has just started. God is leading us somewhere. But it is not too late for them to retrace their step.
Okay, well, we are almost rounding up here, but quickly, so what's your last word? So June 12th, the way forward, the future for Nigeria. Well, you are very optimistic, you said. So are you still holding on to your optimism?
Yes, I'm very optimistic. But one thing, my Bible says is that if the nations that are called by my name
do not humble themselves
and repent from their ways, I will look down from heaven and I will heal their land.
If, only if.
Only if. So we still have the opportunity now. Let us humble ourselves. Let us repent, change our ways, and the good Lord will look down from heaven and heal our lands.
All right, okay, that's a prayerful closing from our distinguished senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
And for us here on Close Flow, the conversation is never over. So please join our social media platforms and let's have your comments, let's have your opinions, let's have your own suggestions on the way forward for this country, Nigeria, after June 12th. Thank you for watching and bye for now.